Now here's an Aquael Reefmax aquarium that very badly needs a clean. It hasn't actually been cleaned at all. So just going through what you'd need to do. First thing I'd do is get a piece of polyfilter in my hand, wipe over all the glass. The advantage with using the polyfilter is that it will cling all the particles of algae and bring the algae out of the aquarium instead of just washing them around and letting them reattach or die and re-release the nutrients so you grow more algae. The polyfilter will actually take the algae out of the aquarium. You'll also notice that this aquarium badly lacks water flow, so adding a Aquael Reefmax, giving you more surface agitation and better flow, will help keep this aquarium clean. Then if you lift this back up here, you'll find that the water goes down through here, and you'll find some, usually we place some polyfilter, so you just basically pull that grid up that's in this. Underneath that you'll find your polyfilter. You look at the colour of your polyfilter. If your polyfilter is black, you replace it. If it's still quite clean, that's okay. Then in here there's a couple of trays. We pull them out. We have Marine Pure in these trays, so the Marine Pure needs to be cleaned every now and then with tank water, not tap water. This has also got a protein skimmer. While you're cleaning, the most important thing about cleaning a protein skimmer is that you clean inside here. So don't use your fingers, because the oils and so forth in your fingers, what I'm doing now, will actually reduce the efficiency of the skimmer. You really want to use a bottle brush, and this whole unit pulls out, so you can actually just pull this out if you want to give the skimmer a clean, and away you go. Now the heater slots down in here. Down in this spot here is where you put the heater, which is the Aquael Easy heater, which is the flat one, is the one that you want to pop down in that position. And you just pop that back in, pop the lid back on, and then away you go. Then in this section here, you pull this up, and you'll find the mechanical filters. So they're starting to look fairly dirty, so you can just throw them away and replace them with these little filter socks, which are available from Aquael. Or the other thing you can do, if you wish, is to just get an elastic band and put a couple of pieces of polyfilter and elastic band the polyfilter. Those things are great because they help stop micro bubbles, and they mechanically filter the water. So once again, there it is in the reflection. So the filter needs to be cleaned mechanically, the skimmer needs to be cleaned, and the biological media needs to be cleaned, and the polyfilter that we run on top of the biological media. So they're the things that need cleaning in these units. You'll find that the mechanical filtration on that side you want to check on at least once a month. The skimmer you'd want to check on a couple of times a week. The polyfilter on the top you'd want to check on at least once a week, and then the Marine Pure that are in the chambers down the back of this chamber here, you'd want to check on that every month or so. So also make sure that you don't get too much phosphate in your water, otherwise you'll end up with lots of algae like this aquarium. So if you put some phosphate remover in this area here under the protein skimmer, then that's definitely going to help you. Also making sure that you're regularly testing the water, so testing the temperature, keeping it at 25 degrees, keeping the pH at 8.4, keeping the salt level at 0.020 if you're keeping fish, and 0.024 if you're keeping corals, or 0.020 if you're adding new fish. Your ammonia and nitrite 0, nitrate and phosphate as close to 0 as possible, and if you're keeping corals, you want your calcium at about 450, and your KH at sort of 8 to 12. So keeping an eye on your levels, keeping your filters nice and clean, making sure your polyfilter doesn't turn black, and keeping your glass clean. And if you did a partial water change once a month, using a gravel cleaner to pull all of the garbage out of the gravel, that will definitely help. And ensuring that you have plenty of scavengers in the aquarium as well, whether that be various types of shrimps, starfish, snails, All these things help to lower the maintenance in your aquarium, so they're all your friend. Phosphate removers are your friend because they reduce phosphate. Urchins. There's lots of stuff you can do to lower the maintenance of your Reefmax aquarium. Little and often is the key to maintenance. Also, keeping your calcium and carbonate and magnesium up on a regular basis so that doesn't fall. It's all good fun.